Oh, yeah.
How's it, Stephen?
Good to be here. Great to be here, guys. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, no, it's wonderful to have you in studio. Now, Stephen has a movie portal which is called Spling.
That's right.
How did you get that name?
It's actually a nickname from school. Somehow carried over. It's from the surname, obviously, Aspling.
Yes.
Carried over from junior school to high school somehow. I didn't actually tell anyone at the high school that's what my nickname was at junior school, but it made the leap.
They just picked it up.
I think it had something to do with the way I walked.
Okay.
Because I had a bit of a bounce in my step. Spring, spling, aspling, they all kind of go together.
Yeah. Really.
So I'm guessing that's what happened.
Okay, and tell us about this movie portal and what it is that you do.
Okay, it's called Spling. It's the company is Spling Movies, and all it is a useful everything you need to know about movies portal where you can get movie reviews, celebrity features. We do a little interview called Top 10 Movies, movie trailers, movie news, the works. So yeah, it's a great place to start if you're looking to find out what to see next.
Are you honest? When you see bad movies, do you tell people this is horrible?
No, I'm fair. I will tell you.
Notice it didn't say he's honest. It said he's fair.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not I'm not affiliated with a Ster-Kinekor or a New Metro, which means I can tell you how it is. And that's if you're going to build a relationship with your audience, you need to be honest, upfront, and integrity is the thing, and consistency. So that's what I do. I've got a little rating system called the Splingometer. It starts a bit like this. It's out of 10 rating system. A little bit like Barry Ronger's Sizzling 7, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Except the big difference being that mine's consistent. It's uniform. So every time...
you know what? I always have a suspicion they bribe Barry Ronger to give the best credits if they want the film to do well. But it's a suspicion. It's not true. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. Probably, backhand, blank check, whatever it is. It goes like this. Worthless 1, a terrible 2, a third-rate 3, a flimsy 4, a flat 5, a satisfactory 6, a solid 7, an excellent 8, a near-perfect 9, and a timeless 10.
Very
that's good.
Nice.
That's
you see,
good.
I'm already liking this.
Yeah.
So he's going to do a way better movie review. Sorry, I just need to say that ahead of time.
But my question is, in the last 2 years, have you rated a film 10?
No, I haven't.
Okay, you're a good man. I agree.
The closest it's come was a movie called Departures and another movie called Inception.
Okay.
Yes, Inception definitely stood out for me.
Yeah.
But didn't both those films have Leonardo DiCaprio?
Departures, no.
No, you're thinking of The Departure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you're thinking of The Departed.
The Departed.
Or The
yes,
Departed.
that's what I was thinking in my head.
Yes.
Yeah, Departures was a Japanese film. Brilliant film. Loved it. Timeless 10, that's the kind of movie like Casablanca, City of God, that kind of movie.
The Godfather.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of movie where it's sort of, it's ageless.
Yeah.
You can
Yes.
watch it in 20 years, it'll still have the same impact.
I agree.
on
Yeah,
you.
and for me, at the moment, I haven't seen a movie that I would say is a timeless film. I think it's I usually see films, I'm like, this is a great film, wow, but it's a film that I can easily forget after a week, and it's rare to find those films. The only film I can remember now, and I get irritated thinking about it, because I liked it then, but now I'm not too sure I liked it, is the Titanic. I think it's one of the cheesiest films ever, you know what I'm saying? But then I loved it. I thought it was great technology, and anyway.
That's the thing with technology.
Yeah.
That's probably why it was a good idea that Avatar didn't win the Best Picture Oscar.
I agree. Yeah.
Because that technology is going to look really cheesy in about 10, 20 years.
So true.
And just to confirm what you've just said, the other day, friends of mine were watching the Matrix, the last of the Matrix, and there's a part where Agent Smith, there's like thousands of Agent Smith coming at is it Neo, whatever his name was, and Neo is punching all these guys, and they're flying up and down, and they literally look like cartoon characters. They look so flimsy, and you're like, oh my gosh, why did I like this in the first place? So the technology aspect is really true in this case.
Yeah.
And for you, what makes something a really good movie, like your favorite, not just something that really appeals to you?
I'm a bit of a sucker for medieval films.
Okay.
But Excalibur would be one of my top 3 movies of all time. The other two being Chinatown and Sunset Boulevard. And
I haven't watched It's not that I.
Yeah, they're like oldish kind of movies.
Okay.
Sort of, these sort of classics. Jack Nicholson and the other one being directed by Billy Wilder, kind of inspired David Lynch.
Okay.
So yeah, some interesting films, but I think human nature and human drama is the stuff that really is timeless.
Yes.
And when they tap into that,
I agree with you.
when they tap into the human condition and develop an original story in that, then you get a timeless film. That's what generally makes a great script, when you can connect with the audience and almost change the way that people view movies, or that movie in particular. Persuade people to think differently about something.
Yes, I totally agree, especially about the.
Yeah. Well, what would you say connects us as humans to movies the way we are connected to them? Because I can safely say most people, I haven't come across someone says I hate movies. Most people do get connected to films.
Bosses was not a.
Okay, I'm not speaking about specific movies, but I'm saying movies in general. You see, that's a connection in itself. The fact that you thought the movie was terrible, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say from your, because you do this professionally, right? What would you say connects us to the movies?
It's escapism. It's a chance to live vicariously through someone else and in another story, in another world. It's taking you to another world where you can just be not yourself for a little while and just enjoy the sort of variety and excitement of that situation. It's like the same reason people play video games, the dopamine.
Read books.
Yeah, read books. It's
Take drugs.
Exactly.
Sorry, no, it really is travel.
No, it's true. Yeah. I know what you mean, Lauren.
So I'd say that's kind of what. Well, I suppose I don't know if that's really answering your question.
It does. The tech drugs part totally answered my question.
Brilliant. Spot on.
But is it fair later on, before you go, to ask you to give us your top 5 movies of all time, according to you? Would that be a fair thing for me to ask you?
I've only got a top 3.
Okay.
I've already mentioned the 3 that are in it.
We got
really?
Yeah. But I can't give you 5 because all those 3 are technically on par as number 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because,
just mention those 3 again.
It's Chinatown.
Yeah.
That's a detective story directed by Roman Polanski, starring Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway. And it's a brilliant sort of crime drama about Los Angeles and a water shortage crisis.
Crime dramas, yeah.
And you see you look in the sort of top 100 of films, you'll find a lot of crime movies in there. And I just love the way that it's quite long. It's got John Huston in as well. The performances are brilliant, and it's got a very sort of winding narrative that's always entertaining and filled with these little like tricks that he does along the way, like putting a watch behind a car tire to see what time, an hour hand watch to see what time the car left, because it crushes the watch, breaks the clock. And then you can see what the time is. It's old school stuff.
That's very clever, yeah.
And then another movie, Excalibur. That's the whole story of King Arthur. Knights of the Round Table, that sort of thing. Very epic. The director, John Boorman, actually wanted to make Lord of the Rings when he made this film. But obviously the budget, the scope, the effects were going to be too much. So
I respect directors like that. If the time is not right for them, don't do it.
Yeah.
You can only screw it up,
But it's got a similar sort of epic feel to a sort of a Lord of the Rings. And that's what I love about it.
I'm quite surprised you didn't mention the movies that people normally mention, the likes of Casablanca, The Godfather, or any of those, like Gone with the Wind.
Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
It's
like, seem to have skipped those. We went for the kind of like movies not too well known by ordinary people like ourselves.
Yeah. Well, it's a personal choice, eh?
It's a personal choice, yeah.
And the last one being Sunset Boulevard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a Billy Wilder film about the old Hollywood meeting the new Hollywood, and just an amazing film. It starts off with a character narrating who's actually dead, floating in a pool, and already starts with a very sort of unique perspective.
Yeah.
And really a beautiful film, a very surreal film, and all in black and white. And I really think that David Lynch was inspired mainly by that film to direct other films like Mulholland Drive, all of his films, Inland Empire, involving Hollywood and this sort of real versus unreal thing. So those films are my top 3.
Okay, and just before we go, before we take a break and come back to the movie review with you, what inspired you to start this website?
I've always loved art, and I've always loved English. So those two things, what do you get when you mix those together? And I always said, when you get asked that question as a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? I don't think I started that early, but I'm sure from about 13 I was probably saying a movie critic.
So that's incredible.
That's so cool. And can I tell you what? One thing in high school I woke up to was English literature. So I totally understand you when you say the English part of it.
Yeah, it's just creative, love of the creative arts.
Yeah.
And I think film blends all of them together.
Yeah.
So it's a nice sort of mix.
So Stephen, for people who want to go and check out your movie review site and get a whole lot more on there, where can they find it?
There are a couple of things you can do. Spling.co.za is the movie portal itself, and you can also find more details on spling.mobi. That gives you SMS-sized movie reviews, so that when you go to the cinema, you can look at your favorite poster and not make a decision based on who's in it, but rather have an opinion from someone that's actually watched it.
That's amazing.
With
because
a rating.
I often do that, and then it's just bad.
Yeah.
Oh, it's bad.
But maybe my follow-up question to you, why is it important for people to go through your portal, as you call it?
Well, I think what it does help is it helps you meet or measure your expectations. If you're going into a film knowing that it's kind of like a 5 out of 10, then you might actually enjoy it more than if you were expecting an 8 out of 10 and it's a 5. So it's just an opinion, and obviously everyone's got their own opinion, so you're not going to agree with mine all the time, but at least you'll have a consistent way to sort of measure up, saying, well, Spling is quite sort of harsh on these sort of films, so I must add a 1 onto his rating to kind of get a good idea.
Yeah. And I mean, Lauren, when you went to watch Horrible Bosses, did you feel like you wasted your money?
I can't tell you, like, just because movies are expensive now. I used to be able to get that Vitality discount, and my mom kind of stopped that. So for movies going for 2 tickets for 22 Rand
on a Tuesday
and
night,
now
I think,
it was like 80 Rand
80
for 2 tickets.
Yeah.
So for 2 people to have popcorn and Coke and a movie, it was nearly 200 Rand.
It's like an investment.
So what is that?
It is, yeah. So for me, it proves the point. Yeah. It's important for people to go through websites like yours, because I think when I go to films, like if I really want to watch a film, I don't know what's showing, I go in front of the posters and then grab my cell phone and just start going through the films. And sometimes I've walked away, specifically when I go to Cinema Nouveau, because I just read through them and see what critics have said, and I walk away. And it usually helps me save money. So I rarely watch films I don't want to watch. You know what I'm saying? So I think it validates the point why people need to go through your portal.
I've got a little bit of a slogan. It's don't wing it, spling it.
I like that. I definitely am from now on. After that experience, I definitely will. And just for young people as well, who maybe want to start their own website, whether it's in movies or in something else that they really enjoy that's creative. Just some tips or hints that you would give to them, because obviously it's not an easy thing. It requires a lot of commitment, and people don't always know, what am I going to get out of it? How much money am I going to make? Can I make it happen? What would you say?
Well, I would recommend that you follow something you are very passionate about, because you aren't really going to commit to it fully if you aren't properly passionate about it enough. And starting to write about it is a good start. If you write about anything long enough, you will eventually become an expert. So, especially on the world of blogging and that sort of thing. And a cheap way to go is to go online, start blogging. It costs you nothing to set up a blog, and just to start journaling your thoughts and opinions. And from there, when you start building onto it, treat it as a hobby. You can start augmenting your site. Going to get your own URL,
No, but now from a technical point of view, how difficult was it for you to start this? Because you got it on people's mobiles, you got a website. How did you go about it?
Well, it's just about being in the industry that you want to be in, and picking up on things that you will learn from other people that are doing the same thing, and just using Google, can help you a lot of the way. When you need to find a way to advertise your site, check out what you can do on Google, and that really answers half the questions. And you'll be surprised that you can actually do a lot with very little bit of money. Guerrilla marketing is what it's called, and online's always a lot cheaper. You can always find ways of getting stuff done to look good on a very sort of small shoestring budget. So yeah, there's a lot of scope there, and I think passion's really the thing that will get you there. If it takes you a few years, whatever it is, you will get there. So it's just about following it up.
Awesome. Are we going to have our movie review now?
Yeah.
Okay, we need to put the music, right? I love Austin.
Of course.
I almost said I love the films by Austin Powers. Okay, you can hear it now.
Yeah, well, we are reviewing a film called The First Grader. It's coming out in 6 days. It's a film based on a true story, an inspiring true story, about an 84-year-old Kenyan man who decided one day that he wanted to read and write. And it's actually got a very tame title, so don't be misled by that, because it's actually quite an emotionally heavy film. It's basically taking this man's journey and his relationship with this teacher that wants to help him get there, because obviously this is in a time when Kenya provided free education across the board, but they didn't specify children only, not thinking an 84-year-old guy would want to learn to read and write. And his history is kind of relayed through flashbacks as the story goes along. And the flashbacks are actually quite, they're of the colonial rule, British colonial rule, and are quite atrocious and not for sensitive viewers. So The First Grader is the title, but it's not that tame. And true story, yes. Starring Naomi Harris. She's been around. She was in Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, Miami Vice. She's kind of played very smallish characters.
Yeah.
You might not even recognize her in this.
I'm looking at the picture now, and I'm like, I've seen those movies you've mentioned, but I can't even recognize her.
I recognize her. Yeah.
She actually, in the movie poster, she looks like a child.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize her at all, because I think she's lost quite a bit of weight to try and sort of fit into the sort of Kenyan type, I suppose, or her teacher's, frame. And yeah, very, very good actress. And the lead in this is his name's Oliver Litondo, and he's done sort of small roles up to now, but this is his major sort of lead. Two very strong performances that really carry the film. Directed by Justin Chadwick, and he is probably best known for The Other Balian Girl that was with Scarlett Johansson quite a few years back. And the cinematography in this is really beautiful. Set in Kenya, obviously the landscapes there are beautiful. And what's really amazing is that they've taken a real class of learners, and that's who they are. They sort of they are themselves in this film, and so a real inspiring film. Quite heavy in the first half, but inspiring altogether.
And your rating? You're on your splingometer?
Now I'm nervous now.
A solid 7.
Oh,
that's good. And 7, what's the tech that goes with 7?
Solid
7. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to get to the point that people are using the splingometer rating to sort of rate their own movies. When they see a movie, come out of it and say, yeah, it was a satisfactory 6.
Would you ever a solid in the half, like a 7.5?
No, I have to make a choice. If a movie's like a 5.5 out of 10, you have to sort of make a choice. Yeah. Otherwise, it gets a bit messy, Because when you give a 5.5, then you want to give
Lauren is famous for the 0.5, point this and point that. So I thought I'd just check with the bro.
It's not wanting to commit. I think.
I think you're a nice person sometimes. Like I usually give movies 6, and it's like no, it's a 6.5.
But you sometimes have to explain it almost because you can get a movie that's a 5.7 that is not quite satisfactory. And like where a 6.4 would also be a satisfactory 6. So it does get a bit much, but you've got to make a choice.
I really want to see this movie, by the way. Now that you have told me about
very
it.
Very powerful.
Really want to see
that. I know you're about to go now, but a question from a South African point of view: what's one film that has been done in South Africa that you'll say stands out as probably, if possible, according to your rating, as a timeless 10? What movie comes to mind?
Sure. Yeah, I can't really give anything a timeless 10, to be honest. That's come out of South Africa. Not that I didn't like Mr. Bones, but no. I think a lot of the movies that do really well here are the ones that have funding from overseas. District 9's a good example. That's probably the one that I would give the best rating out of South Africa. Obviously, a lot of movies made about South Africa, Gandhi, Invictus, some big names behind them. But nothing really has, besides movies like Tsotsi, kind of achieved an excellent 8. I'd even be sort of loath to sort of give District 9 a 9. I think I gave it an excellent 8. It's kind of hovering between an excellent 8 and a perfect 9. So I can't really give a timeless 10 to anything just yet.
We really are going to have to pass NK short film over to you. I want to...
Oh, he's going to butcher it.
No.
Now I'll be curious to see what you have to say about it.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
as I said, I like to be fair. So but a timeless 10. Maybe we'll be getting one of those films coming out of South Africa in the next few years.
There's a film that I think I'll recommend for you to watch. It's a very old South African film. It's called Mapantsula, something like that. But also it's related to South African apartheid era. I thought that movie can. I'm curious to hear after you watch it. Probably will take your number when you do watch it. Hear what you have to say about that one.
Cool.
Because I think it goes to timeless 10.
Okay.
So the same director as Hijack Stories.
I watched it like when I was a kid. I just can't remember who directed it, but it was really, really well done. It was really, really well done.
Stephen, it's been awesome having you in the studio.
Yeah, I've loved being here.
It's been great. Thank you so much. For those of you who want to go and check it out, visit spling.co.za and spling.mobi. Am I correct?
That's the one.
On both accounts?
Yeah, spling.mobi, you'll get a rating out of 10, a short little overview, and a similar movie title, so you can make a better decision when you go to the movies.
So take your phone with and whip that out when you get there and you're trying to decide.
Yeah, for me, this has been fun. I probably, if I had to rate this interview, I'll rate it a timeless 10. I absolutely enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks, man.
It's been awesome. Thank you so much.